You're tuned into The Fix or you're watching something on Quick Fix's YouTube, and I'm joined by Woody Edwards, who made an amazing film that I saw on Amazon, and I was just like blown away by it and realized that I saw obviously on the end of in the end credits moves, it said made by 19 people, which A, really impressed me, and B, made me think I can go and find this person. Just give us just quickly first a bit of a premise. Yeah, and where they can find it first and most importantly.
Currently, you can find it on Amazon Prime. And I guess the basic story is a group of a small town in Indiana, a group of local residents basically fend off an alien invasion on a Friday night. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the short end. I mean, that's the the basic plot of it.
Okay,
It's paper
amazing.
thin. I'll say that the script is very paper thin.
I think that it's the kind of story that I feel like Explorer from Another World does have. Its road is already laid out before it by a whole history of cinema. And so, in that way, I feel like you can come on board, and as long as you have like a smattering of knowledge about film and, like specifically films in that genre, I guess, then you're going to get a lot out of it. And if you haven't ever, if you've come out from under a rock and this is your first, it's as plot heavy as any of those movies that you're kind of referencing as well. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think it's overly shy on story, whether you're coming to it from, I feel like from either angle. If it was the first film of its type that you've ever seen, then you get all the basic tropes. If you're coming to it with all that knowledge, then you don't really need everything, laid out for you, because you've had a history of cinema to do that for you.
Exactly. And we did play up on a lot of the stereotypes of characters from those types of
Yeah.
films, like the professor or the
Yeah,
law
brilliantly.
enforcement. I think the basic idea we had when we wrote it was we wanted to pay homage to those films of the 50s, although we set it in 1960, like early
Mhm.
60s. And but put our own spin on it where we, like in all those movies, everybody was killed off camera, or it was, very PG or G
Yeah,
rated.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We wanted to show all the carnage,
Yeah.
and we thought that would be a nice contrast to those. And that
Yes.
in itself kind of lends to the comedy when you think about those movies and how um, sort of hokey they were. And then you add this element of extreme violence, and the
Yeah.
contrast just makes it lends itself to humor in our opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like a lot of I think gore or splatter and all that kind of stuff that people call it. I think it's moved into its own kind of almost comedic genre. Like even films like The Monkey recently that
Mm-hmm.
I saw, very much used the excessive violence as punchlines, really, so over the
Oh
top.
yeah,
So it has a
yeah.
cartoon. It's almost like a cartoon brought to life in a strange way.
Oh yeah, especially in our movie, it was very cartoony and outrageous. And
Yeah.
I don't think I could make a movie where it's, like just for example, like an Eli Roth type movie where the
Yes,
violence,
sure. Yeah.
is just
Even Eli Roth, sometimes I wonder, like, I mean, a lot of it is quite funny. Like
oh
it
sure, yeah, yeah.
it's delivered fairly deadpan, so you wouldn't necessarily know it's a joke always. Knock knock, whereby at the end you don't even know if it's being played for laughs, and then at the end when he's trying to nudge his phone with his nose to like stop all the things,
Right,
you
right.
realize, oh, it is actually like he's definitely having a bit of a laugh, isn't he? So.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not picking on him. I mean,
Oh no,
actually,
absolutely not. No.
I think like Thanksgiving is another one of his films that the violence is
Yeah,
very
it's super
played up.
funny.
Like the humor in that is played up. I was referring to like Hostel and stuff like that,
Yes,
where
yeah, yeah.
it's almost just
Yeah.
pornography.
No,
It's
I
just
reacted really badly to Hostel actually, and I thought there was a lot in it that I didn't feel like the writing made sense of, like where there was violence. Like, why was her eye hanging out for so long of the movie? Would you not just pop it back in or something and then saw it out later or something? Do you know what I mean? It just felt really strange. Like a lot of it was like, why? Like this kind of thing. So yeah,
right.
I definitely think that. But I wonder sometimes whether maybe also he thought that was funny, but just didn't deliver it in because it's early films. You know, maybe he's got better
Sure.
at kind of juggling those two things.
Also, like my co-writer Stu Fastback was also the cameraman in this movie. Our, we have very similar sense of humor, and we were raised on, excuse me, like Sam Raimi and early Peter Jackson movies
Yeah,
like Brain Dead and
yeah.
Dead Alive, excuse me, or Bad Taste.
Mm,
So that's where we're coming from with our gore and
yeah, yeah,
our influences are kind of come from
yeah,
those types of movies. Although we do appreciate all horror movies, and not just horror movies. We like all genres, but
yeah,
for Explore, that was kind of where we just naturally go to those places where, oh, it's like, Evil Dead, or it's like,
yeah, yeah,
we'll reference like something out of one of those movies. Or I mean, for me, like making this movie, I there's like probably 4 or 5 movies that I was constantly playing in my head when we were
mm,
writing it, and that's the original Blob,
right,
the original War of the Worlds,
right,
Day the Earth Stood Still, movies like that. And
right.
you can, in fact, if you look at the script, we kind of ripped a lot of those the ideas out of
Tropes,
those,
yeah, yeah,
right? Even the Blob with the teenage, like Steve McQueen at the beginning of the movie, him and
yeah,
his girlfriend, they find the old man who's got the blob on his hand.
yeah,
They
yeah,
would go
yeah,
to the
yeah,
authority. It's the same kind of
yeah, yeah.
setup for our movie. So when we were writing, I was just consciously aware of those kind of. I wanted to stay in that world and keep it as true to the as we could to that time period on the budget we had.
Of course,
But ultimately, we realized the 1950s were going to be kind of hard to recreate in my
replicate, yeah.
garage. This is where I'm at right now, honestly, actually. But so we just kind of moved it closer to the early 60s. We thought that
Mhm.
we could probably replicate that a little better, especially trying to source a vehicle that had to be in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But
How much of the script actually, like, how much was it compared to what you first wrote and then what you shot? How much was it affected by the budget thing, or did you literally go in when you were writing the whole time? Were you like writing to budget?
yeah, we were kind of right in the budget, and we mostly knew where we were going to shoot it and how we were going to shoot it, and we would talk about that at great lengths, like where we could find locations or who we knew that had a barn or a farm, or but 75% of it was shot right here at my house. So in
Right,
my
yeah.
backyard, in this garage that I'm in, my living room. We just kind of redressed everything
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make it look different. And three of the sets were built here in my garage. And then a lot of the exterior stuff was shot in my back. I have a little bit of woods out here. And
I'm literally
so we
sitting
were, we were,
I'm literally sitting talking to you in a flat that was used for a shoot for my wife's debut
oh,
short film. So yeah, we literally like moved. We rented the place so that we had two places at the same time for like 2 weeks or whatever, and we used one of those weeks for the shoot before we moved all our stuff. We moved a certain amount of stuff in so that it'd be like more like a set, not a real house, if you know what I
right,
mean, with all the
right,
color
right.
and stuff. So yeah, but I admire the practicality, like the getting things done, I think is what a lot of filmmakers get in the weeds a bit about, like because they think, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to that. I feel like coming from a music background, we're very much like, oh, we want to do this, and so we make it happen kind of thing. We general old school way of kind of doing it where you kind of, you get your product somehow and you just get on with it. And I think with film, because it looks so much daunting for a start, but it is actually there's a lot more moving parts maybe to it as well. That you see a lot less
Yeah.
filmmakers just going and going, I want to make a film, so I'm going to make it happen. And for for your film to be that and then look as good as your film does is pretty amazing, I think.
Well,
Like
thank you, thank you. We've done that. We've been doing this for a while, and this was the first like really leap we took to try to make something bigger and better, of course. And honestly, when we first started doing it, I just thought it's just gonna be like any other thing we've done on YouTube. It's gonna look probably better because we had a better camera and stuff, and we had a little more experience. But I didn't really think that it would reach as wide of audience as it did. To be perfectly honest, I
yeah,
we had no intention to ever be on Amazon Prime. It was just like we're gonna put it on YouTube. We'll get 600 or 700 views like we typically do. It was like a nearly 3 year process to make
mm,
this movie. We started in 21, and I think we released it in 24. And throughout shooting, it just kept thinking, oh, it's probably a little better than I think it is, and it's looking really good. And I started getting better at color grading, and I was like, this might be something here. And I just happened to come across someone who was talking about Film Hub, which is an aggregator that if you basically you give your movie to them and they pitch it to streaming services and they get a percentage of it. Ultimately, they get 20% of your film, and but you have to meet a certain criteria, with your picture quality and your audio quality and stuff like that. So
okay,
when we got it done, I was like, this is pretty good. Let's just see what we can do with it. And I kicked myself because we didn't put it in any festivals or anything like that.
right,
Because
yeah,
again, I just didn't think it was. I thought it was good. It's certainly the best thing we'd
yeah,
ever done, but I didn't know it would kind of reach a bigger audience and get
yeah, yeah.
some appreciation.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't really plan these things in a way. I mean, you can do all the work like putting it in for all the festivals, but that still doesn't mean that you actually get any, and it does mean a lot of like expenditure. Like my wife went through, she put in for a few, she got a couple of awards, and so it kind of felt like, yes, okay, well that's
Oh,
worth.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. We put it in some stuff. So there's no guarantee even when you do that stuff. So in a way, it must feel nice to have like an organic, response to it, and then have that to kind of. I mean, now surely that must kind of make you feel like, oh yeah, I need to plug this one a bit more and make sure if it's got this much response, who knows what further response it might get, and then secondly like your plans for your next one, obviously you'll kind of go in with a oh, we might actually have an audience for this one kind of thing. So
Yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah. We're I'm meeting with Stu tonight. We're continuing writing the next script. We're about 20 plus pages in. I don't know exactly how long it's going to be,
yeah,
but allowing myself about a year of prep time.
wow,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, we'll
That's
see how it goes. Well, you have to kind of plan when you don't have when you're
yeah.
funding your own projects. You
Well,
kind of have to,
I was just
unless
about to,
you.
yeah, I was just about to ask, like, in terms of like, in a way, do you feel like it makes you more able to do things because you know your limitations from the get-go, so you can plan?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the added benefit of doing it here, and I can just on my days off, I can build all day long, or I can make props, or I can do whatever. Because I work a kind of a unique schedule where I work longer days, but I have more days off, so I have more
Brilliant, yeah.
downtime. So my days off, I'm usually out here working on this or
Yeah,
something.
and you can
But the
commit.
problem with doing everything on your own is is the time it takes because especially on Explorer, it was a paycheck to paycheck film. We would shoot for a while, I'd build a set, and they're like, okay, now we got to shoot exteriors for a while. I got to build another set. We got to save up some more money, and it was kind of that process for over 2 summers,
Mhm.
really three to be honest. And that's while it's good, but it's also, I mean, it's good in terms of you keep the cost down and you can kind of work at your own pace, but you're also stretching your project out 3 years,
Yeah,
and it just comes to a point where you got to get it out. You got to
sure.
stop. Got to get out of the basement editing all the time, and you have
Yeah.
to get it out there. And I hope this process will be a little quicker,
Have you started a
but
kind of
it's more
Kickstarter?
ambitious.
Have you started some kind of a fundraising campaign for this new project?
Not yet. We are planning on that. We want to get the script all done first, and we might shoot like a little promo thing
Oh,
for it, and maybe even do some like a sort of a proof of concept trailer. Maybe we were
right,
talking
sure.
about doing that, but we want to make it interesting, and we just don't want to just ask for money. We want to have all of our ducks in a row before we.
I would see what you can do on because on
Right.
based on this film, I would imagine you've got a lot of good faith of people going, yeah, I want to see what happens next from this team. Do you know what I mean? Because I think Marvel should like hire you straight away and get you doing one of their shorts, something that's in a set time period and has a very specific look.
Right.
You could kill it on something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like it'd be ideal.
Yeah,
Like the noir series or something like that.
I love that. I mean, that's kind of our we like period films. We like
Mm.
older. We just the way Stu and I work and we write and the way we think. It's just I have no real interest in making anything in the modern era. Not that I wouldn't,
Mhm.
but it's not as appealing to me for a lot of reasons. I think technology kind of waters down. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, not that you can't make a good um, movie nowadays or anything
Yeah, I know
in
it's a
interesting
weird
ways.
dichotomy, isn't it? Because on the one hand, the technology makes it easier for you to make the film, but on the other hand, it kind of ruins everything about where you might set the film if it's going to be in the modern era, because suddenly horrors become a lot harder to navigate. Like, because oh well, why didn't they just call someone? Or like,
Oh yeah, exactly.
there's so much
You
stuff.
walk around with you walk around with a phone in your pocket, and there's cameras everywhere, and you can everybody's accessible now. You can just reach anybody
Yeah.
anytime. So I think it just waters down things a little bit, in my opinion. But not only that, I think aesthetically, I'm just more drawn to
Mhm.
like Universal monster movies or
Sure.
definitely stuff from the 50s, stuff like that. It's
Yes.
just I don't know. For me, it's just I just have that I have a natural affinity towards. I don't know
Yeah,
why
yeah,
that
that
is,
makes
but
sense. Yeah, well, I mean, also there's so much going on where there's whether it be the fashion or whether it be the design or the decor and stuff like that. There's so much to get I don't know geeky about, I guess, which is really fun,
right,
isn't it? Like
right,
you can do. Whereas if you're
right.
going, oh yeah, we need a chair and it's modern, and you just go, well, I don't really know where do I start? Just some, do you know? It's not really, it's very
Right,
hard to
right.
get passionate about. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I
Sure,
think
sure,
that's
yeah.
probably the equivalent would be how musicians get all into their vintage gear and everything. And it's weird now. I've got all the channels I ever need. It somehow stifles my creativity. But something about this is what I was going to come almost to tie a bit of a bow on it, but I did want to ask you about some music and some taste. The limitations I feel like can be really beneficial to an artist.
I don't know. I mean, I think limitations do force your hand at being more creative, certainly. I mean, especially with like the effects of the movie. Like I pretty much engineered all the effects, and I would never call myself an effects artist by any means, but just trying to think of ways to make how does make a hand pull off or an arm pull
Mm,
off or a head pull off, and it's just uh I had nobody to ask about that. I
mm.
kind of just winged it. I kind of made it up. I kind of thought about magic or editing.
Yeah,
I was
yeah, of
thinking
course. Yeah.
consciously of editing, like so I don't know. I
It
mean,
looked fun on the little outtake kind of real bit at the end when you're blowing up thing. It looked like the most fun like ever. Like
yeah, our neighbors weren't too happy that night, but
no. Oh,
no, we were going
tough.
to do it twice actually, but the first head explosion wound up destroying the helmet completely. We couldn't do another take, so we only got the one take, and luckily it worked. But
Yeah, it comes off great. No,
yeah,
we had when we did the short film for my wife, like we had someone organized to come and do effects, and then they suddenly pulled out of it. So I ended up, because I was the producer, I kind of took on the responsibility of and it was like limbs and, you know, chopped up bits and everything. And I was really worried because it's, if that fell apart, it'd be like the whole film kind of ends on a
Oh,
kind of thing. So I was really, really, but it came off really well. And I think sometimes just having a bit of a passion for it and having like a bit of like a mind's eye, like to kind of go, oh, I kind of know what I'm looking for. I just need to, so it could get the blood a bit darker and, you know, all the,
right, right,
you
right.
know.
Yeah. And that's one of the great things about editing my own movie is when we're doing these effects, I know where I'm going to cut. Like
Mhm.
I can watch a take and I say, okay, well, the first 3 seconds of that's perfect. I know I can cut it and then switch to another angle or whatever.
Mhm.
So that's beneficial in that sense that, knowing where you're going to be able to cut. And, that's
Yeah,
for me, that helps out a lot.
overview,
Right.
you know, of what you're
Oh,
doing.
yeah, for
Yeah, yeah.
sure.
What kind of music did, if any, did you listen to whilst conceiving of this and writing it? What, if any, music was a shared taste of like the crew? Like, did you play stuff or the rap party or whatever? What was playing at that? And then also, what do you, when you're building your set, do you have like music on to get you through it? And
For me, I was really listening to a lot of 1950s music when we were writing it and kind of going through filming it. And one of the added benefits of filming here in my garage is I have I could just pipe music right into my between takes or before we're shooting or when we're talking. So I would always play period music when we were on set, between before shooting, and not so much between takes or anything like that. But
Hmm.
what was the other questions? I'm sorry.
Building the
Uh,
when you're building, what
oh
do you
yeah,
use for?
that could be anything from podcasts to music. It just depends. I mean, it kind of depends on what mood I'm in.
Yeah,
My musical tastes
what
are
helps you get the
all over
work
the
done?
map. It just depends. Like lately, I've been listening to I don't know, the band Lucius,
Right.
by any chance. Tom Waits.
Oh, cool.
Although that's more acquired taste.
Yeah.
All kinds of different artists, from anything from old country music to 50s music to soundtracks, Ennio Morricone to
Right. Right.
uh, just it's all over the place. I mean, to be
Yeah.
honest, I don't know. I just it's how my
And
brain works.
when it came to the music for the movie, who did
Mhm.
that and how did you find them?
So the score was done by myself and my son Garrett.
Right.
We did this actual score. We did the whole score on mini keyboards and couple different programs,
Okay.
uh, all recorded in Logic. And he did probably 3 or 4 pieces, and I did the rest.
Right.
Um, he's much more music savvy than I am,
Hmm.
but together we did the score. The actual songs were sourced from a program called Udio. I don't know if you're
Right.
familiar with that. Um, we originally had licensed some songs for the movie through Licked, and I can't remember the other licensing place.
Right.
Um, but the problem was you could only license them for YouTube. They were cleared for YouTube, and you could pay a sync license, and you could have them to be cleared one time for YouTube. But then beyond that, I couldn't put it on
Right.
Amazon
Yeah.
or put
Yeah.
it on
Yeah. For
anywhere
sure.
else. So I had to find a way to kind of recreate music from the
Yeah.
time
That vibe.
period
Yeah.
that would seem authentic. And that's
Mhm.
that's what we came up with. We found Udio, and I know we probably get a lot of flack for that, but it got the job done. And when you're on a limited
Right. And
budget,
you needed to fill it in last minute, so it is what it is, isn't it?
right?
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that hopefully tells everybody everything they need to know. And yeah, thanks very much for joining us, and hopefully, you
Well,
know,
thank you
stay in
for
touch.
having
And
me.
yeah, and let me know as the project, you know, comes on, because obviously it'd be nice to, you know, catch up with you about it in the future.
Sure, sure.
Awesome.
Thank you for
Okay.
having me.
Yeah, no, good luck with it all. And yeah, absolutely congratulations on an amazing, really, really awesome film.